Hello and welcome to this Apple LAN webinar, and it's titled How Optical LAN is Good for the Industry and Good for Companies and Good for Your Professional Career as well. Before we get started, we do have some things to get through. Well, we want to make you aware of antitrust and no solicitation policy, and you can certainly read through the message right there to learn more about it. And also we have a legal disclaimer for you to see and certainly read through that. And if you have any questions, please contact us. And with that, I would like to get started by introducing our panelists today. We are going to have Drew Dretheridge from Crux Solution. He's very active and leading the marketing committee right now for Apple LAN. And also we have Gayla Arundel Corning, and she is also very active at the board level and was the board chair of Apple LAN last year. We also have Jeff Van Horn, who is the CEO of Uber Data Networks. He is a contributor to the marketing committee. And myself, John Hoover, I am with Tellabs, and I am the current Apple LAN board chair, and I will be the moderator today. The way this is going to work is we do have testimonials from other member companies that we will be playing. And then our panelists here will be taking on these topics and discussing them in a roundtable format as well. As this progresses, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the Q&A field or in the chat area, or just go ahead and email them at directors@applelandglobal.org, and we will address these questions or comments in real time, or we can get back to you on them. So with that, let me tee up the topic. So we want to talk about how optical LAN is good for the industry and good for companies and good for your professional career. It's well known, well documented, and accepted how optical LAN benefits apply to the end customers. That has been written by Gartner. It's been represented by Bizzeria, and certainly go on our website and you can see all the great things that this technology does for the end customer. But this is the question today is, how is it good for the ICT industry? How is it good for those companies that participate and offer this technology as a solution? And then from a personal standpoint, well, how does it help out with your personal development? And that is where our testimonials and our panel will provide some insight to you on. So let's go ahead and get into it. First up, we have how optical LAN is good for the industry, and we'll have our testimonials and our panel speak to that.
Hello, everyone. I am Mao Pinghui, the founder and chairman of BFW Solutions. With the fast development of digital economy, enterprises need to introduce and deploy more and more smart applications in their network. Optical LAN is good for today's enterprise's network, as it can simplify the structure of the LAN network from 3 layers to 2 layers, and can support all those basic applications and smart applications on one fiber network instead of multiple copper-based networks. This will not only save huge cost for enterprise owners, but also will make it a lot easier for future speed upgrade from 1 gigabit to multi-gigabits.
Hi there, Jimmy Kantuk here, and I'm responsible for optical LAN marketing at Nokia. And if you're looking for a solution that truly delivers on less is more, well, with optical LAN you have found it. Because an optical LAN requires less equipment, less cabling, less space, less power and less maintenance, while at the same time delivering high performance, faster speeds, greater reach, better security and a longer lifespan.
My name is Stephen Land, and I'm the Director of Intelligent Building Systems at Corpman Inc. How exciting it is to be a part of such an industry transforming technology as optical LAN.
I'm certain that Drew and Gayla and Jeff have an opinion on how optical LAN is good for the industry.
Well, being a design and consulting firm, we see the priorities coming back from the architects, right? So they're super focused on sustainability today. very focused on how can we free up physical space and give space back. So when you get into sustainability, it's kind of a neat story because for most of my career in technology, we were in the IT technology space, we were big consumers of power and physical space. And we really didn't have any way to contribute significantly to sustainability goals. And now with optical LAN and with new innovations in the way we power our networks, we have a lot to give back. So now I can give you back physical space because optical LAN can tremendously reduce the physical footprint of the network. And we consume a lot less power on the optical LAN side. So those are really nice ways to contribute to sustainability goals, as well as reducing the overall cost of construction. Construction on a per square foot basis is at an all-time high. We're seeing our clients are telling us it's costing between 35 and 45% more to build a building today than it did in 2021. So anything we can do to give back square footage is greatly appreciated by our clients.
And Gayla, are you seeing similar things or anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, certainly sustainability is a key trend, and we're seeing more and more cities and countries and region implementing these building code laws that have directly related to sustainability. So I think, as Drew says, we can really impact the net carbon footprint reduction with an optical LAN network. But in addition to that, I would say just the whole theme of smart buildings. More and more buildings are implementing, different devices, sensors, etc., the Internet of Things for buildings. And we're seeing this convergence of the IT side and the OT side of the building kind of collapsing onto one Ethernet backhaul in a building. So that is just causing a lot more, it's a densification that's happening inside of buildings, of connected devices. And, if the way that you can do this on an optical LAN, it's much more taking the connectivity to the edge of the network and feeding that sort of edge with a single optical fiber. So again, it just streamlines the architecture, reduces so much cost and as we said, carbon footprint and space, etc., with just a much more streamlined architecture, taking the network connectivity closer to the edge where these devices need to be connected. So
Great.
That really helps us with the whole smart building conversation and gives the optical LAN a good contributing factor into that trend.
And Jeff, what's your perspective?
As a system integrator, we work with our customers regularly. We understand their pain points and the things they're trying to achieve, their 3 or 5 year plan with their technology. And, one thing that we're all seeing is the growth of devices in these buildings are putting a greater stress on the network. We're trying to increase speeds, we're trying to increase distances, and combining those two things create a lot of challenges in the form of, pathway sustainability, more cables, more material that comes with the more cost, right? And so when our customers are looking forward in their network, one of the things I always run into is, oh my gosh, I had no idea this was gonna have such a financial impact on our company to achieve what we want to achieve. Having the expertise and the knowledge and optical LAN networks gives us the ability to offer other options for our customer. Right? We provide a lot of thought leadership in the community and with our customers, and this gives us a tool to offer our customers that gives them a lot of benefits and sustainability. They have net zero carbon initiatives that they struggle to achieve with traditional networks. And when we work with companies like Drew at Crux and design engineering firms that have expertise in this technology, we can work with them along with our customers and help design a network that meets their technology needs. And typically when you go about the design of a building, you'll design the building around the IT network based on the design constraints of the cable distances of 100 meters. Well, optical LAN technology, along with the new DC powering systems, kind of untethers that, right? And working with the engineering firm, it gives us the ability to optimize the IT network, give the customer an option to achieve their goals and not run up against a lot of the constraints that they're running into with a traditional network.
And the only thing I'd add relative to the industry is whether you're talking internationally with Etsy and their F5G initiative, or TIA Spire, or what I see nowadays when I go to Bixby Winter and Bixby Fall, I see all these presentations on sustainability and fiber and powering. It really does seem to be a top of mind topic these days across the industry. Next, let's talk about how optical LAN is good for companies.
Optical LAN is good for a company like BFW Solutions, as it brings a lot of opportunities for us to innovate and develop new and green products for customers. We are promised that we will continue to invest and develop optical LAN products and bring values to our industry.
With Optical LAN, Nokia helps enterprises to fulfill green building initiatives and achieve sustainability and ESG goals.
For Cortman, like other integrators, we are always testing new device uses in our lab.
This time around, we can certainly ask from Gayla and Drew and Jeff how they see it's benefited their own companies or seen other companies benefit.
So from a Corning perspective, we are, probably the global leader in fiber optic technologies for communications. We've seen the conversion from copper-based networks to fiber-based networks. In the data center, significantly, there's much more fiber than copper. And certainly from the carrier world, fiber to the home has pretty much been, become the norm now for people who are building networks, So the last frontier, as we call it, for optical conversion has always been the building. So from a Corning point of view, that conversion of the copper-based networks in a building to an optical-based network is really another big growth vector for us in optical networking. And we feel it. We've seen it happen in all the other networks. There's no doubt that it's going to happen in buildings. And we just look at some of the big mega trends that are maybe tipping points towards that optical conversion taking place, whether it's the wireless type of technologies like Wi-Fi and 5G, or whether it's this sustainability trend again, as we talked about, or just the whole proliferation of devices in a building. There is definitely going to be that tipping point and more optical conversion, which will be good for our company, no doubt.
Okay, right on. And Jeff, for Uber Data and peer companies like yours, how has Optical LAN benefited your company?
We provide a lot of thought leadership, a lot of innovative guidance to our customers. And in the optical LAN, as I tell my employees, there are 100,000 system integrators in the United States. A very small percentage of those companies that are expert in IT systems are also expert in fiber technologies. It really helps us grow our partner base, right? When we reach out to a customer, we tell them, do you want to learn about optical technologies? Do you want to hear what we're doing with smart buildings and how we can achieve this with fiber networks and get around the constraints? There's always an open door for a conversation. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the customer will go down the path of using an optical network for that particular application, but it nearly always opens the door for our sales team. It helps them have those conversations, right? Everybody's busy. CIOs and IT directors, very busy people. It's very hard to get their attention. Optical networks get their attention. The other benefit for us is we're very active in a lot of different industry organizations. You mentioned Bixby. There's a lot of opportunity to participate and speak at Bixby, be part of working groups like TIA Spire, work with you at GBC. Right, so it provides a lot of opportunities for us to engage in, and I like to say it's an emerging field of where we're going with smart building technologies and technology integration. And I guess the last piece is our company is on the cutting edge of technology. A lot of our competitors, we feel, are going to be in a reactionary mode. You know, we're seeing with the BizRIA report that the growth of optical LAN is extremely high right now. Our competitors will find themselves in a reactionary situation, and we even see that today, where that puts us in a unique position to be the experts, and some of our competitors trying to play catch up.
Yeah. Okay. All good points. And Drew, you're today's resident expert on architects, engineers, and consultants. So at that level, what are you seeing?
You know, it's not a big surprise that most of our clients are architects and engineering firms, and they frankly don't care about technology. It's an afterthought. They only deal with it because they have to. Their clients are putting them in, have an expectation that they're going to bring this to the design. So what do they actually care about? They care about solving problems. So in 2020, we decided, okay, well, we want to be the master problem solver for our clients. I don't really need them to get that interested in technology. So we need to focus on the problems that we can solve through that technology. And that's why in 2020, we decided to pivot to smart building technologies. And we view optical LAN as the foundation of the smart building technology. And then when we get the opportunity to start layering on other things like low voltage lighting and class 4 power, those things are all now working together as a kind of a technology stack, if you will. So we look at optical LAN again, the foundation of making all of that stuff work well. And we look at how that can solve our architects' problems. Our architects have problems with the cost of the job, square footage, finding good quality contractors to do the work. Kind of a side benefit is I get to work with people like Jeff at Uber Data Networks. So there's a higher caliber of integrators work in this optical LAN space. Kayla would have to agree with that, right? You deal with a lot of different folks across the country. So having higher caliber of installation contractors is a huge benefit to the consultant, because we're usually in charge of seeing this from design all the way through construction. So those are kind of the key points that I'm thinking about. We're using it as optical LAN as a foundational technology that differentiates us from a lot of our consultant competitors who don't really look at emerging technology. A lot of them kind of run away from it, run away scared. We look at it, hey, what's out there that we can leverage to solve problems?
And it's a unique differentiator for you because, for example, your customers aren't thinking about technology, and they're probably just assuming that everything's going to be connected over Wi-Fi or 5G. And then you come in there and say, oh, by the way, all those radio antennas need to have fiber connectivity. Now let me tell you how that can be done. I mean, it must be a great conversation to have with folks.
It is. In fact, we just had a meeting with a client last week who hadn't even considered the additional requirements that putting a cellular DAS in. This is a large casino project. They told us in the beginning they had it all covered, and then we're about to deliver construction drawings, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't have that covered." And it was an easy conversation because we didn't have to add a single strand of fiber.
Mm-hmm.
It's already baked in the design, and there was a big sigh of relief around the table. So you're right. Being able to solve problems before the client even realizes they had a problem, that's pretty powerful.
Okay, well that's a great way. We'll shut down the conversation on companies based on that. That was fantastic. And to move on to the next topic, and this one's a bit more personal. How is this optical LAN good for our own personal, professional development, our careers?
I have been in this industry for more than 10 years, and I am very excited in doing optical LAN business. My experiences allow me to offer unique perspectives to my clients and help them improve their monitoring issues. I see a very bright future of doing optical LAN business, and I welcome you joining us and doing it together. Thank you.
On a personal level, my role as optical LAN marketeer has enabled me to expand my professional network both inside and outside Nokia.
For me personally, it's exciting to have spent nearly 35 years of my career in the electrical side of our industry, only to see the intelligent building advancements play such an important role in our industry today. I've been stretched like you can't imagine in taking over the leadership of our intelligent building team, but couldn't ask for a better group of forward-thinking individuals to help me pioneer optical LAN advancements for our organization. Thank you for allowing me to participate.
If Jeff and Drew and Gayla, if you want to weigh in on opinion on this, that would be great to hear your viewpoint.
Well, I know how it benefit my career, so it's but I look more towards my employees, right? We hire a lot of engineers, and certified engineers on optical LAN are not nearly as common as engineers that are certified in Cisco networking or Aruba networking, right? So when we come across a resume that has that, it clearly pops, right? Every resume you're going to get, you're going to find people that are certified in traditional technologies. When you find a networking professional that has certifications and not just optical LAN, but certifications and things that go along with that, DC microgrids, different power distribution technologies, fiber termination expertise, and things like that. It really makes them stand apart. So I wouldn't tell my employees that this really helps them out with their resume, because I want them to stay with this. But from a career perspective, we know the future of the local area network is fiber optics, right? There's a physics limitation on Cat 6A, and that's why Cat 6A is kind of where it's going to end with local area networking technology, right? Fiber optic technology is where the market is going, and like it or not, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years from now, there's going to be a lot more fiber networks put in. The growth will be much greater than copper. So from people that are, in this industry, if you're a network expert, if you're a sustainability person or somebody in material sciences, this is where the networks are going, and it's getting in early. And I wouldn't really say that we're early, because we've all been doing this for 10, 12 plus years now. But there is a tremendous amount of growth and emergence with these technologies, and being an expert in that field absolutely makes you marketable in the industry.
And Drew, how about, what are you thinking about for professional advancements? What are you seeing relative to optical LAN?
Well, there's a real shortage of expertise in the marketplace already, as Jeff pointed out. We hire design folks. Most of the time, we're hiring people who have a Big C certification called RCDD, right? A Registered Communications Distribution Designer. But RCDDs traditionally have not had deep training in fiber, and certainly not optical LAN. And that's beginning to change. But I don't think you'll ever lack for a job in the IT space if you have the expertise around designing around optical LAN, and then you begin to augment that too with understanding DC power. Those things are going to just be foundational for how we move forward in the next 10 years. So you really can't go wrong getting a deep understanding, and even extending that specialized knowledge into each optical LAN manufacturer's specifics. Becoming an expert in how Corning does their optical networking will be fantastic for your career.
And Gayla, I always see you as a person who was there on day one of Apple LAN's inception, and you've seen the growth, and you've worked with a lot of great companies. From a professional career standpoint, what are your thoughts on how optical LAN can benefit folks?
Certainly for me personally, I've had a really good exposure and I've been able to lead Apple LAN. I'm also involved in the TIA Smart Building, helped write this fire assessment. Other organizations, not only myself, but my colleagues, like with the American Hoteliers Association. I know one of my colleagues is just now on the foundation board. And so that she got that position, from being able to really, promote the optical LAN in the industry. So I think it gives you, for me, it's definitely given me that thought leadership expertise in the industry to really speak to this technology for, over 10 years now and be a true evangelist, I would say. But then if I think about it also with our salespeople, from a sales and marketing point of view, being able to talk about optical LAN gives them access into conversations they would not have traditionally been in, just responding to typical RFQs. So this is where we have more of those corner office kind of conversations with CIOs and even the CFOs about the cost savings and now the sustainability directors, etc. So they really get access to a different level of customer, different corner office of the customer to have a much more sort of consultative sales approach than just selling commodity products, So we've been training our salespeople over the last, 10 years. And it's been really lovely to see when we get one of them really becoming that expert and really succeeding with this conversion to optical LAN with their customers, And then when we see customers, we have several customers now who have themselves become evangelists as well, So that's also really good for their careers and also, for their, positions in the industry. So I think just in general, I know you both talked about it from a technology and from, learning this technology for designing and implementing. But I think there's a lot as well that you can get from it from a sales and market development point of view as well.
In summary, through our testimonials and our panel, we've heard how optical LAN is good for the industry. It complements CIO and architect and engineer top priorities. It positively impacts modern LAN topics. And it can even contribute to IT staff KPIs. And on a company side, it can help you differentiate your company. You can bundle it with existing solutions that you offer. It may even improve your margin selling a unique solution. It can help you enter new markets, new regions. It helps you engage earlier in the sales cycle by having a reason to reach out to architects, engineers, and consultants and add all this together, and hopefully it helps win new customers. On the career side, it establishes yourself as a trusted advisor. It gives you a unique perspective to speak to your clients. It truly opens doors. It gives you tangible solution that once again relates to that client's business gaps, those CIO top priorities. And then it can improve the client's monetary issues. You can actually tie it into how it can save companies money. And it gives you good visibility in a growing market that is the growing market of optical LAN. And perhaps you have some KPIs that it can impact as well. Before we close out, just a little bit about Apple LAN. Apple LAN's mission is to accelerate the adoption and evolution of fiber optic technologies in the local access networks for enterprises. We help shape the optical LAN industry. We lead this evolutionary technology, and we promote optical LAN through education, white papers, case studies, and published articles. If you want to learn more, please visit our website. You can sign up for complimentary newsletters there. Hopefully you want to join the association and get involved. You could register for upcoming webinars, read our articles, white papers, and research other folks who provide this service, whether they be architects, manufacturers, architects, engineers, integrators and installers, and others. Feel free to get involved online with us through social media channels, and you can always reach out to us through director@applelandglobal.org. Before we shut down, I truly want to thank our panelists, Jeff, Gayla, and Drew, for sharing their insights. And I also want to thank our testimonials that we received as well. I really feel good about this program, and I hope you enjoyed it. And we look forward to doing more of these types of webinars in the future. Thank you very much, and have a great day and a great rest of your week.